By now, you have to have heard the news. Auburn baseball is going to Omaha to be part officially of the College World Series as one of the best 8 teams in the nation. So let's talk about the schedule, what you need to know, and how you can follow the Auburn Tigers and their exploits out in Omaha. But before we do that, I want to welcome you back to the channel, whether you're a member of the Auburn family or a fan of another persuasion. This is the E2C Network, where we cover the whole of the Auburn experience. We might tend to be a little bit Auburn sports heavy, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Thank you to members of our booster club like Kelby Flowers, who help produce videos like this. Just when you thought Auburn sports were done for the 2021-22 calendar year, Auburn baseball said, hold up a minute, we got a few more weeks for you to follow along with something Auburn related before we flip the calendar. Head into Omaha for the second time in the last 3 College World Series. If you remember, the 2021 didn't happen because of the global pandemic. So that is why that now makes sense with the last 2 of 3 we have been a part of. Regardless, I'm excited for the Tigers to be there, and I want to give you a little bit of information for you at home to follow along with and how best you can keep up with what's going on out there, whether you're going to be traveling or you're just going to be following along like as many of us will on TV. Now, for the College World Series, the top 8 teams that came out of the regionals and the super regionals are what are left and participating in Omaha. It'll take place June 17th through the 26th with a possibility of the 27th. We'll get into why that is in just a little bit, because I want to give you a breakdown of what to expect, how all the matchups work out, double elimination, game of 3 series, all that kind of stuff, what it means for Auburn, how you can pay attention to it, and maybe even a few predictions from myself at the end. As I said, the top 8 teams from regional and super regional play are going to be split up into 2 brackets here in the College World Series in Omaha, Bracket 1 and Bracket 2. From that point, they will play out just like in regional play, double elimination fashion, where they will result in 1 team from Bracket 1, 1 team from Bracket 2, ending up playing together in the official championship game of the College World Series in a 3-game series. Now, your choice is to pick how you're going to follow along. Are you going to travel out to Omaha? Well, I'm trying to figure that out myself. Good luck is all I've got to say in terms of booking flights, travel plans, hotel rooms, ticket prices. It's getting a little bit pricier. We'll see if it actually ends up happening for me or not. If you do want to travel out there are tickets available online, and you can buy them in single game tickets, but also the whole package deal, which is probably not a bad idea if you're going to make your way all the way out to Omaha, Nebraska. But if you're staying at home following along, all of the games will be either on ESPN or ESPN2, with the vast majority of them being on ESPN. Now that you've got an idea about how the College World Series functions, let's talk about the specifics of this particular College World Series and the teams that are participating, along with our Auburn Tigers. You've got Stanford, Ole Miss, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Stanford. I think I've got everybody listed there. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I always like to break these things down a little bit further because I just find these type of facts interesting. That means of the teams that are there are 4 SEC teams, there are 2 Big 12 teams, 1 Pac-12 team, and 1 ACC team. Yes, I know that's confusing. You're all looking like, who's the ACC team? Notre Dame is part of the ACC in baseball. We don't get into that here. It's just a thing that happens because it's Notre Dame. Breaking it down even further, there are 4 SEC teams like we talked about, but all 4 are from the SEC West, which is just crazy to think about because we all knew that SEC baseball was that good this year, but it even shows you further how Auburn is just either blessed or cursed with the toughest competition in their particular division of this sport, but in a lot of sports when it comes to SEC play. If you want to take a step even further beyond that, technically in the future we would be talking about Texas and Oklahoma being part of the SEC. So in a alternate universe where they're already part of the SEC, that means 6 SEC teams would be playing in this College World Series. Even a step further, and this was not even really related, but I think it's just kind of a cool thing, in the Women's College World Series for softball, which was played in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma and Texas met up with Oklahoma winning. Now, they will not be able to meet because of the way the brackets broke down here for the College World Series for baseball, but they might end up seeing each other in that elimination game to see who goes to the actual championship game. Just kind of cool relation of those two things going on. Now let's talk about the different brackets here, and we'll start obviously with bracket number 1. The first matchup that you want to pay attention to is Texas A&M versus Oklahoma, which will be a former Big 12 foe, future SEC foe matchup, as we've already addressed. In game 2 of that bracket, you will have Notre Dame versus Texas. Remember, they will play a double elimination competition to pick who is going to be that representative from that bracket to go into the championship series. Same thing with bracket 2, but this time your matchups are going to be obviously Auburn and Ole Miss and Arkansas and Stanford. Same type of thing there, double elimination, representative for the championship series. Now I want to specifically talk to my Auburn fans here, which I know the majority of my viewers are here. Let's talk about specific things for you to pay attention for Auburn. And I'm going to put the actual bracket up here right now, again, if I haven't done so already, for you to reference, because it can get a little bit confusing. So let's talk about it. So this is what you need to follow in relation to Auburn baseball and what could happen. The only thing that we know right now is that we are playing in game 4 of this World Series, that game being Saturday, June 18th at 6 p.m. And as I should have said already, all these times are going to be Eastern time just for simplicity's sake. Depending on the result of game 4, meaning whether Auburn wins or loses, they will play either in game 7 or game 8 of the College World Series. Game 7 being Monday, June 20th at 1 p.m. or Game 8 also being Monday, June 20th at 6 p.m. If Auburn has one loss still and is still in the tournament from those first 2 games, they will be playing Tuesday, June 21st at 6 p.m. again in what could potentially be an elimination game for them. If at this point they are undefeated, Auburn will not play until Game 12 on Wednesday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. And if needed, they would also play in a Game 14 on Thursday, June 23rd at a time to be determined if that is necessary in the double elimination situation. So think about it this way. The Auburn Tigers could either play on Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday if they are remaining undefeated with that potential Thursday game, or if they are surviving with that one loss the entire time after the first game, they could be playing Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and potentially a Thursday. That is a lot of games. And that brings us to the championship series, which will be a best of 3, meaning if one team just wins 2 games in a row, that's it. But up to 3 games, that will be June 25th, 26th, and 27th. All 3 games, including that maybe necessary 3rd game, will be played at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and hopefully our Tigers are going to be part of that. I want to leave you with a few predictions from my part, and I'm just going to be honest, there is no analysis with this. This is just strictly gut type of situation. What I often do with basketball bracket challenges before I make my official one, I just kind of fill it out and say what happens. For me right now, I kind of like where Auburn's sitting at. I do think that they're going to get that first win against Ole Miss because I think there's something to this team proving a lot of the doubters wrong. I think that's another check on the box that they want to fill and need to fill. After that point, I think they would probably go on to play a team like Stanford and would take a loss. At that point, they would probably go on to play a team maybe like Arkansas, who got beat by Stanford, meaning Stanford would be the undefeated team in that side of the bracket at that point. I do think Auburn would beat Arkansas, which would result in them going back to play Stanford in that optional 1-2 game elimination game series to get to the championship game. But I don't know that the Tigers have what it takes to get out of that situation. Here is why. These Tigers have been resilient all year and have overcome expectations. I'm concerned that they have yet to play 4 games in a row, which they will potentially have to do, especially if they take a loss at any point and don't remain undefeated in that bracket. And I don't know how that's going to play in with the batters, with the fielders, and frankly with the pitching staff, especially with us not having Hayden Mullins at our disposal. But that is just pure speculation. There is no facts or basis for me to even think that. It is just me throwing some stuff out there at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I hope I'm wrong. And if you're seeing this off in the future, well, remind me how wrong I was, especially if Auburn doesn't, or maybe how right I was too. So that's everything that you need to know for the College World Series, whether you're an Auburn fan or not, how it functions, some times, some dates, and maybe even what to expect coming out, especially for our Auburn Tigers. What I want to know from you in the comments section below, what you think about all of this, how are you feeling about it? Let me know down there in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this type of content, please do help support it by smashing the like button. If you want more from us, be sure to hit the subscribe along with the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads or live streams. There's ways listed in the description to help support our content here at E2C Network, some of those being a channel member here by hitting the join button or hitting the thanks button down below, or you could even head over to patreon.com/E2C Network to join the Booster Club for some perks with different tiers that you could sign up for. Thank you for tuning into the E2C Network, where we cover the whole of the Auburn experience. War Eagle.